Hello guys, welcome back to Recursive Path. Today we are going to solve the next problem in the problem set of Leetcode. That is the third question, longest substring without repeating character. I hope you watched the previous video of this question number two, that is add two numbers. If you have any doubt in that particular video, please add a comment. I'm happy to answer those questions as well. Without wasting any time, let's get started with this particular question. Okay, let's first read the what the problem statement is. So what has been given to us, given us string is, we need to find the longest substring without a duplicate character. Okay, so I think question is pretty simple. What has been straightforward as well. What has been asking is we need to find a substring with the longest substring, basically without any repeating characters, right? So let me just tell you what a substring is. Substring is basically a contiguous, non-empty sequence of characters within a string. So what it exactly means is, let's say I have a string at ABC, right? So the substrings for this particular string is can be A, it can be B, it can be C, it can be AB, it can be ABC, it can be BC. So these are all the possible substring for this particular string, right? And for any string of length n, number of substrings can be possible is n into n plus 1 by 2. These are the total number of substrings that is possible. So if you look, the length is in this case ABC, the length is 3, right? So 3 into 3 plus 1 by 2, that is going to be 3. Basically, in this particular case, it is going to be 6, right? Because 3 into 4 by 2 is basically 6. So, okay, this is just basic information around the substring. So let's check it out. The first example that is given as A, B, C, A, B, C, B, B, right? So what has been asked is we need to find the longest substring without any repeating character. So what I can see from here is basically this is the one. This one is also valid. This one is also valid. So all the three these substrings are possible because these does not have any repeating characters, and also the length is maximum. So answer is basically 3 in this case. So if you even look at here as well, so output is 3 and the answer is ABC with the length of 3. It is also says the BC and CAB are also the correct answer. As we have mentioned, ABC, BC and CAB are also the correct answers. Similarly, let's take a look at the next one, that is all B's with the answer is going to be 1 because the maximum length can be 1 only, right? And similarly, the next one is like PWWKW. The answer is 3 because the maximum substring is going to be WK with the length 3, right? So it is also it has one note here that about the subsequence. I just don't want to discuss the subsequence in this particular video. We can cover the subsequence in the next one, but I think you got the gist around the basically the substrings, right? Okay, let's take a look at the constraints as well. So the maximum length this particular string s can go up to is basically 5 into 10 to the power 4, and it also says it only can contain the English letters, digits, and symbol and spaces. That is the only thing, right? But we are not worried about this particular condition because that is like it is fine. We can discuss that in detail once we go in the solution. Okay. Now let's think in the direction of simply how we can solve this particular question, right? So the basic approach that comes into my mind is, first one is what I can do is I can calculate all my substrings of a particular string or the given string, and I can check each of my substring whether that is valid or not. By validity, what I mean is whether it has non-repeating characters or not. So as I think I have already told you, like how what are the substrings? These are like contiguous non-empty sequences, right? So basically, let's talk about the brute force only first. Brute force. So what are we going to do is basically we are going to find all the substrings, find all the substrings, right? And then check for the condition, check for the non-repeating condition on each substring, right? If any substring passes like this particular condition, then we are going to update our max length. And if it is not, then basically, so and max length is basically going to store our the maximum length that is possible, right? And if it is passes, then yeah, we move to all the we check for all the substrings and uh, then check for the condition for each of them. So let's try to build a pseudocode for that as well. So basically to calculate all the substrings, I'm going to take a for loop, first for loop to iterate over my complete length, right? So this is my first for loop. My second for loop is also required to take I and j, right? So between this I and j, I'm going to get my substring. So I is small, j is I, and j plus plus. Similarly, what is going to happen here is I'm going to check for the condition, that is whether my substring has unique characters or not. Has unique character, and this I'm going to pass my string I and j, right? And in this, what I'm going to do, I'm if it passes this particular condition, then I'm going to update my max length, right? So my max length is going to be math.max of the max length. Like what it says is whether my previous length is greater or the current substring that we have like chosen is greater. So length of the current substring is going to be j minus I plus 1, right? Okay, I can tell you like why this plus 1 is also coming. Uh, okay, let's take this example. So for this ABC, my I is 0, J is 0, right? This A is being selected, correct? So in this case, if I do J minus I, it is going to give me 0. So basically what is happening is it is not considering the last element. That is, so to consider that, what we need to do is we need to include the last element as well. So this is going to be my formula for calculating the length between the two indices. Similarly, let's say for AB, so this substring, in this substring, I is going to be 0, J is going to be 1, right? But if I do J minus I, that is going to give me 1 only. But the length of this particular substring is going to be 2, right? Because we need to consider B as well. That's why we need to do J minus I plus 1. I hope you got the gist why we have done this of J minus I plus 1, right? Now, since we have done this, if you let me just also complete this has unique character. So it is nothing but a function, right? Has unique char, which is basically taking the strings as int. I am going to take as like start, and j is going to take as end, right? And to find out whether my this particular substring that is starting from start and end, whether has unique characters or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a set. So set is nothing but creating the unique, storing the unique element of type character only. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a for loop. I is equals to start and I smaller than equals to end. I plus plus. I'm just going to make one condition. If my set dot contain this particular character, that is s dot I. If it contains, then we are going to return false. Return false. Why we are returning false? Because it is repeating character now, because set also contains the already contains the element now. If it does not, then it comes out of this particular for loop, that is this one, and we are going to return true. right? So if you look carefully now, what is happening is basically we are taking these two for loops to get all the subsequences, that is I and j, right? Basically index, right? Now, so to run these two loops, we have to do n square times, right? Because the length is n, and to check this particular unique characters between unique of this particular substring, we need to again loop it out from start to end. That is again going to take n, right? So my total time complexity for this particular brute force is going to be of n cube, right? So if you look at this constraint, that is 5 into 10 to the power 4, right? It is going to give me TLE in case of brute force, right? Okay. Now we have solved this question with the brute force. We need to think in the direction of optimizing this, right? So let's see how we can optimize this particular solution. Okay. Let me take this example of ABC, ABC, BB only, right? So before I'm just going to give you the solution first, and then you will get the intuition, because that's how it will work in this case itself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create three variables. That is left, that is my first pointer, right, that is my second pointer, and my max length to store the length. Initially, it is going to be 0. And I'm also going to create one set to store the unique elements, right? So initially, my left and my right are going to point here only. So my left and my right are going to point at A. So that is my initial condition, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to increment my right. So let's do it while doing like running this algorithm itself. So when my right is at A, what I'm going to do, I'm going to check whether my this element, particular element that is present at right, is present or not in my set. Since set is currently empty at the start, what we are going to do, we are going to add this element as A, right? Once we have added this particular element, what we are going to do, we are going to check for the max length. Since my max length is 0 now, and now I have added A, right? So my max length updation formula for my max length is going to be max of max length, comma, right, minus left plus 1, right? So in this case, I have added A, so I'm going to increment my max length to 1 now, right? And my right is going to get move forward to B. Now my right is at B now. I again check whether my this set has B or not. Since it does not have B, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add B, and I'm again going to update my max length. Now my right is at 1, right? That is this index. Let me just put the index as well for easy. 4, 5, 6, 7. So in this case, what is going to happen is my right is at 1, my left it is again is 0, and so according to this formula, my size is going max length is going to be 2 now, right? Now my right is going to be incremented, and now it is going to be at C. Again checking in the set, since it is not present, I'm going to add it here and update my max length, going to be 3 now. Now my right is again updated. My right is now at A. I'm again going to check whether my set has A or not. Since it has A now, what I will need to do, I know that between this point left and this point, I have a repeating character. Now, what I need to do is I need to remove till the point that I don't have this repeating character. So what I will do is I'm going to increment my left now. So my right is going to be this particular position A only, but my left is now going to be incremented. Now my left is going to be, let me just choose another color for left. So just a second. So this was my initial position for left. Now my left is going to be incremented. Basically, I'm going to remove the L, from this particular set. So A is now going to be evicted. So this is now going to be removed, and my N is going to be incremented to B here. Right. Now I'm again going to check whether my this particular right, this particular one is present in my set or not. Since now it is not present, what I will do is I will update my max length. But all my max length is already 3, right? So currently this is the window BCA. My max length is already 3. This is not going to be updated, right? So it is already there. Now again my right is going to get updated. Now my right is going to be here now. Now my right is moved. Since my right is moved now, what is going to happen? I'm going to check whether B is present in my set or not. Since it is present, what I need to do is I need to update, right? So basically update my left. Now my left is going to be move forward. And so by moving forward, before moving forward, we need to remove this particular B. So now my B is going to be removed from this particular one. And also my A was added right previously. So this A was again added because of right. And now my B is going to be evicted. So now my left is going to be here. Now it's C, right? So now this removal is done. My left is updated. What I need to do is I need to again check for this particular right. Now my right is at B only, right? And since my B is not present now, the window that we are going to consider now is going to be this one from CAB. And since CAB is also of length 3 only, my max is not going to be updated, right? But now B is going to be added because right is at B, right? Similarly, now my right is again going to be at C. I'm going to check whether my this is present or not. Since it is not, since it is present, what I need to do is basically my left is again going to be get updated. Uh, Left is going to remove this particular one, that is C now, because it was here, it is evicting, and now left points to L here, right? Then it again checks for this particular window. ABC max length is not going to change because ABC is already 3. Then again my this one is going to get, so basically right was there, so my C's again got added, and now my right is going to get here. Now my right is here, B. So B is already there, so my again my left is going to get updated, and this algorithm will go on. So what is happening here? We are basically checking for the window in which we can update. So this was the initial window, maximum window that we have found. After this, we have shifted our window to this because my A was already there, right? Then we shifted our window to this one. Then we shifted our window to this one. Then since basically B is already there, we shifted our window to this. Then since B is again here, we shifted our window to this, and then to this. So this is how the sliding window problem works. So I hope you got the gist, but also like how this was solved. So this is a question regarding the sliding window. So in this solution, what we are doing is the first step is basically we are running a we're running a loop. So basically we are going to, what we are doing is we are iterating over the string, right? Then we are going to check if my character present at right, if my cat present at right is not present in set, then we update our window. We update our window by incrementing write and adding write character in set and also updating the max length. Right? That's what he had done. If it is present, if char is present in set, then we need to evict. Then we need to evict the character from set and update the left pointer. Left pointer until until unless my right char is removed. So what is happening here is basically I need to do this particular activity till my right character is removed. So in this particular scenario, my A was at the first since this particular A. So let me just give you an example as well. So this particular A, right, when my right was here and my left was here. So my left was left this particular one, right? This is the first position only. That's why it got evicted and my left got shifted here. Let's assume this my that my A was at this position, right? So what I will be doing is basically I will be uh, updating my left till I have removed the character that is present at right location, right? So I need to do this in a loop manner. So let's write the pseudo code for this as well. Let me just do that. So what we are going to do is basically we are taking the while loop, right? While my right is smaller than length, right smaller than n is basically the size of the array, and my base condition is if my uh, set dot contains my character at right position, s dot char at right. Let me just move this as not. If it does not contains this one, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add set dot add this particular one, this particular character, right? And I am also going to update my max length. My max length is now going to be max of max length, comma, right minus left plus one. Also, I think we need to initialize the right and left. So my left is going to be at 0, right is also going to be at 0, and my max length is again going to be 0 initially, and I'm going to create the set of character at the start only. And I'm going to update my right here, right? Because my character is not present. And if it is present, that is in the else condition, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my left character. So set dot remove my s dot char at left. Until when we need to do this? Until unless my this character present at my right position is evicted from the set, right? And I'm going to update my left. So what is happening here? And after this, you can return the max length and max length. I hope you got the gist of this particular solution as well. So what is happening is basically we are checking at every right point. We are going to check whether my right character is present in the set or not. If it is present, we are going to add that character. We are going to calculate the max length, and we are going to update my right. This is going to this first check is going to update my size of the window for non-repeating characters, right? While this particular else condition is basically saying, since I have found the repeating character in my window, what I need to do is I need to remove that particular character, right? Until unless my repeating character is removed, right? So until unless my repeating character is removed, I need to perform this activity. And once that is done, I'm again going to check for this one, right? So, and this is how it is going to do. And the max thing, so the worst thing is going to happen is basically I am going to iterate over a particular character two times. So my time complexity for this is going to be O of 2n, which is equivalent to O of n only, right? Because I'm iterating at max twice on a particular character. That's why this is O of 2n. Now we can think in the direction, since we are doing this activity, right? If you look at carefully at this point, that we are doing this activity just to remove the repeating character. So why we are like doing this? If we can think in the direction of like saying that if we know the location, that my where is my repeating character present, right? So basically the previous one. So for example, uh, suppose I take an example of A, B, C, D, right? And B, C, something like this. So here my maximum here only is this, but let's say my right is at here, right? And my left is at here. I know my repeating character this one. Why do I need to take a loop for till this point? What we can do is, if I know this position, right, what I can do is I can directly jump there, right, instead of doing in the loop. So what I can do is I can further optimize from 2n to n, that is like optimizing the optimal one itself. So it is nothing but we are going to, instead of creating the set, we are now going to create a hash map. So my left is going to be 0. My right is going to be 0. My max length is going to be 0. And my uh, instead of set, I'm going to create a hash map of char and int type, right? I'm going to keep everything similar. I'm going to here only going to take the right, and so I've already initialized it, so I think it is fine to keep it this way. My just a second, my 0, my right is smaller than n, and right plus plus, right? So what I need to do is basically, if my current character, that is, if my map contains this particular character, contains this key, right? As dot caret right, then I need to do something, right? That is basically I need to update my left. So my left is going to be max of left comma s dot sorry, map dot get uh, map dot get, just a sec, map dot get as dot caret right plus Instead of doing the plus one here, what I can do is like in the down lane. So this is going to update my left, right, and now what I need to do is I need to calculate my max length if it is not present, or even it is present, right? So my max length is going to be max of max length, comma, 3 minus left plus 1, right? That's what we have already discussed previously as well. And what I'm going to add into the map is map dot put my s dot char right, correct, and my right plus 1. Okay, now why have put right plus 1? Because this is going to store the next possible valid start. So I can do it here as well. So I can do it plus 1 as well. But instead of doing plus 1 here, what I have done is basically in this only, at this point only, I have added 1, right? So what it is going to give me, it is basically going to give me the next possible location where from where we can start. So in this particular solution, just a second, I think what happened is C DB, right? So this is the one. In this case, what is going to happen? It is it is going to give me the start as C, at C, because B is already there, right? So the we know the location of B. So next possible start is going to be C, right? Because B is already repeating. So that's why we are going to add plus 1. So I think I hope you got the gist. And with this particular one, we are iterating over this string only one time and each of the character only one time. That's why the time complexity for this particular solution is going to be of n. And this is the most optimal way we can solve this particular question. So I hope you got the gist, and we can also start with coding this out on the Leetcode ID. So let's start with the brute force and then we can go ahead with the optimal solutions. Let's start with the brute force first, and then we can go ahead with the basic one. So optimal one, sorry. So let me just first capture my in. That is going to be s dot length only. Why I'm going to capture this? Because this is going to help me with all the values and the max length as well. That is going to be 0. So n is the length of my string. Max length is basically in which I'm going to store the maximum length for my substring, right? So I'm going to create a for loop int I equals to 0, I smaller than n, I plus plus. So now what we are going to do is basically, again, I'm going to take a for loop. That's what you discussed, right? We are going to find out all the substrings, right? So to find out all the substrings, we need to create the two for loops, j plus plus. So once we have done this, we need to check for the condition, that is has unique character, in which we are going to pass s, I, and j. And if it is passing the condition, we are going to update our max length, right? That is going to be math dot max of max length, comma, j minus I plus 1, right? I hope you remember like why we have done this, because we need to include the last element as well. That's why it is j minus I plus 1. So let me do this. And once we have done this, we are going to return the max line only. And to write down this particular function, let me just do this. Public boolean unique character. We are going to take string s. We are going to string start from capital S, int start, int end, we're going to create the set of character, and we are naming it a set, new hash set, because we need to check for the duplicates, right? So that's why we are going to create the set. Now we are going to take a for loop int I is equals to start, I is smaller than equals to end, I plus plus. So this is going to, in this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to check. Basically, let me just get the character as well. My character is going to be s dot char I, right? So once I get the character, I'm going to check if my this particular character is present in my set or not. So set dot contains my character. If it is true, then we are going to return false, and also set dot uh, my character type, because I need to add it, because I need next time if this character repeats, I need to check, right? And if this for loop is completed, then we need to go into return true, right? So this is a very pretty basic solution for uh, longest substring without the repeating character. So what we have done is basically we have calculated the length of the string. Here is the two for loop for checking the or getting the substrings. Substrings. Uh, this is for start position, getting the substring, and this is for end position. Now this checks for the non-repeating character, right? And if it passes, then we say uh, that I mean we are going to update the max length, update the max length, and we're going to return the max length from here, because that is the question. Uh, uh, this is for initializing the set to check for duplicates, right? Uh, Iterating over the substring to check for duplicates. And yeah, that is done. Condition for duplicate check, and we are going to return 12 false from here. So this is a pretty basic solution, but if I try to run it, it will run. Okay, I think we have done triple plus somewhere. That is here. Okay, if we look at it, now it will run and all the test cases will pass. But if I try to submit it, it won't get submitted because the it will give me TLE for the test cases, because the maximum length is going to be 5 into h to the 4. Yeah, as expected, it is going to give me, it is giving me TLE, right? Now moving to the optimized approach that we have discussed, right? So optimized approach is the sliding window one that we have discussed. So let me just create the remove this and we can take a look there. Okay. This is not required. This is again not required. Okay. So in the maximum, what we have done is we have created the left, we have created the uh, right, we have created the max length, right? Now once we have created all the variables, we need to create the set as well to check whether my sliding window or the window that particularly we are visiting has any duplicates or not, right? So we are going to create the hash set here. So this is the second approach that we discussed. Now what we are going to do, we are going to create a while loop, and we are going to loop it till the length of while my right is more than equals to length, and I'm going to check if my set dot does not contains if my set does not contain my parent character, that is s dot character right, then we are going to update the basically add the current value in the set. So set dot add character right, and we are going to update our max length. So my max length is going to be now math max dot max of max length comma right minus left plus one. So now I have updated my max length and I'm going to update my right as well. If it does not, if it contains my element, right, now I need to evict the elements till my repeating character is removed, right? So set dot remove s dot char at left, and my left is going to be incremented. Once this is done, I'm going to return the max length. So this is very short, very simple solution. What is done is basically we have created the two pointers and one result variable set to check the duplicate in a window, iterating uh, over the string, checking if the character is present or not. If it is not present, we update the set with the character as well as the max length and the right pointer. If not present, if character is present, then we evict the left character until unless my duplicate is removed, right? And then we're going to update my left edge. So this is a pretty basic solution. Let me just run it out on the basic test cases. And once that, okay, I think what it says, it does not have the asset. Okay, I think what I did is spelling mistake. Yeah, so all my basic test cases run. And if I click on submit, it will also get submitted because we are doing it in my off to end time. But still my runtime is 6 milliseconds. It only beats the 68.81 percent of the solutions, right? Now let's move to the uh, most optimal one that we have discussed. So let me just remove this and let's code out the most optimal one. So I'm going to store the length as well, this time n. Uh, Let me just create the max length as well. Now I'm going to create the map of character comma integer. This is because store the character with the new start. So let me just create this and I'll tell you like why we have done this. So for int left is equals to 0, uh, right is equals to 0, right smaller than n, right plus plus. So what we are doing here is basically we are initializing two pointers, that is left and right, and the condition for this for loop to end is right is more than n, and uh, right is going to increment it. Now I'm going to get the current character, that is ch s dot caret right. Okay, and I need to check whether this particular character is present in my map or not. Right, contains key, that is my ch. If it does, then we need to update my left to math dot max of left comma map dot get ch, right. And also, if we don't get it, we need to update my max length to math dot max of max length comma right minus left plus one. And I need to put the current characters in the map. So map dot put ch comma right plus one, right, and I'm going to return the max length. So what we have done is basically we have uh, get the length of the string and the result variable. We have created this particular m- map, created this map to store the next possible start for the window. So in the previous solution, what we have done is basically we have iteratively removed the uh, left character until unless we have removed the duplicated one, right? Now, in this one, since we know the exact position where the duplicate character is present, what we can do is we can store the next possible start in that one, right? So what we have done here is we have iterated over the string, right? And we are in this one, basically we are check if the character is present in map or not. If present, we update the left with the next valid start, right? So we are going to update it, and here we are going to update the maximum length, and we are going to store the next possible valid part of the window. So it is pretty much like 4 or 5 lines of code, and here we are just returning the max length, returning the result. So if you look at it, what we have done is basically we have created this map to basically store the next possible value, next possible valid start only, and we have skipped that. So the previous one where we are like iteratively removing the character until ideally removing the duplicate character, right? So and we are jumping it to directly to the uh, next possible valid start. And if I try to submit it now, it will get submitted. And also, if you look at the runtime is 4 millisecond, and it beats the 87.18% of solution result. Uh, so I think, yeah, we have solved it for all the three approaches: the brute force, the optimal one, and the most optimal one. I hope you got the gist of this particular solution. In case you have any doubt, please do add the comment in the comment section. And thank you. That's my time. Thanks for watching.